I'm Francesca of INTRAFITT, and you're in the kitchen with Chefie F. Today's segment is muffins. I like muffins because they're easy to make, easy to eat, and easy to take on the run. So I think that you'll enjoy them. Pretty much all the recipes are about the same. You start first with a little bit of fat. Now, I'm using vegetable oil, and if you have a recipe that you really like, you should more than likely modify it, because it's probably got too much fat and too much sugar, which is not a bad thing, but we want to make it a great thing. So I cut back a little bit on the fat. So this is a half of a cup of vegetable oil, and of course I washed my little hands, so I don't have to tell you that part, right? And then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I know it kind of sounds like a lot of sugar, but don't forget we're going to make this over 21 muffins, so it's going to turn out to be just maybe a tablespoon of sugar or something to that effect. When I make muffins, in my handy little KitchenAid here, I use a paddle attachment versus the whisk. The whisk is used for making things where you're going to incorporate a lot of air and really make a lot of volume. This, we don't want to make a lot of volume. We're making a batter. So we're more than anything just kind of mixing things together. So first, almost always when you're making a batter, you're going to cream together your fat and sugar. So I just put that on medium for a couple of seconds. Then I'm going to add my eggs. Now, 30 years in the kitchen has told me this. I always crack my eggs separately into something rather than just putting them straight away into the recipe, because you never know what you might find when you crack a lot of eggs. Red dots, blood, chicks, all kinds of things can happen. So
I'll be back. I'm nauseous.
To play it on the safe side, seriously, folks, I always crack the eggs separately, because if I would have cracked them into this and found something not so favorable, I would have ruined the whole batch of batter and would have to start all over again. Now, because I'm making banana muffins, you want to get the bananas so that they're ripened a little bit on the brown side. That way there's a lot of natural sugar, and, then you don't have to use excess sugar to actually sweeten your muffins. I'll put that over here. Did you hear that? Once was a boy from Havana who slipped on the peel of a banana. He wanted to swear, but his mother was there, so he whistled the Star Spangled Banner. All right?
Yeah.
You didn't know I was multi-talented, did you, camera guy? All right, so if you would like for me to recite that again,
I want to write that down.
And I can do that again for you, or I'll just put it up on the website and you can use it yourself, all right?
That's
no problem.
Great.
Now, I'm mixing together my bananas. From here, now I've got my fat and my sugar.
I have a rhyme.
I've got my bananas. Now what I do for these muffins, because I've taken away part of the fat, is I add a little bit of yogurt to the mix, or ricotta cheese, or sometimes a little bit of light sour cream, and that helps to make the batter very creamy and full of body and flavor, so that it's not so like cardboard. You know what I mean?
That's not like Betty's batter. Betty's batter is bitter.
This is a Greek style.
So we added butter to make it better.
This is a Greek style yogurt, which is higher in I'm just going to put it all in there. Measuring is very, very important here, folks. So be sure that you measure accurately so you don't have a flop. So now I'm just going to blend that in. Now here come my dry ingredients. This is where you want to measure for sure, because if you pour things in here just on a whim, you could end up with a real biohazard.
On a whim.
This is baking soda, a little bit of cinnamon for some flavor. I like cinnamon in muffins. It just has a nice blend. We're going to add our little bit of salt, okay? You know, for good luck. Now, here's what I do.
Hey.
Because
I just cleaned the floor.
You can get it again later, camera guy. What I do, I do my best not to eat a lot of white flour in my diet, a lot of wheat and gluten. So when I make muffins, I take regular oatmeal and I pulse it in the Cuisinart until it's a fine powder. This was just regular, traditional, old-fashioned oats. I've pulsed them down so that They're a nice fine powder, basically an oat flour. Of course, you could use a rye flour, buckwheat flour.
Okay.
Quinoa flour, rye flour, maybe I already said that, brown rice flour, whatever you like if you're not eating wheat yourself. You could even use flour, whole wheat flour as well, but I personally like the oat and I like the texture, and fiber is your friend. So,
could you use a bouquet of flour?
You've heard of low budget production. Well, we're so low, we're a no budget production, which is why the camera guy is my co-host. Yes, you could use a bouquet of flour.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to eat it. 2 cups of our oat flour blended. Now, once you've added the egg to your mixture and you've got everything nice and fluffy and you start adding dry ingredients, whenever you're making a batter and you've added the flour, this is where you have to start to be very careful, because if you over whip or over beat at this point, when you bake, everything's going to shrink away from the sides or make a dip in the middle. Things aren't going to rise nice and fluffy. So a lot of times it's because things have been over beaten. So be careful about that. All right, now you can add anything else that you want to this. If you have raisins, nuts, pecans, almonds, I have some dried cherries that I'm going to add to this. I like to add a little bit of coconut. The coconut helps to keep the muffins moist for a couple of days, which is really advantageous if you're going to make this ahead of time so that you can have them all week long on the run. Again, just give that a little swish, and your batter's ready. Now, we're going to bake. Here's a couple of different options that you can use. You can use your basic cupcake pan if you like.
I love cupcakes.
All right, cupcake. If you like, you can line them with paper. Otherwise, if you don't have the paper, it's not a problem. You just give this a little bit of a quick spray with a non-stick, more like a baking spray or a butter style flavor. You don't want to use an olive oil flavor here with these more on the sweet side muffins. I also like to use things like molds. These are non-stick molds. If you wanted to use a giant muffin paper in here, you could, not a problem. But these make really pretty muffins when you undo them. Here's another shape of mold that I like to use. I didn't say mold, I said molds. Also, these are really cute too, because you can buy these at different kitchen stores. Williams and Sonoma might have them, Sur La Table, and they're little tiny wooden holders that come with the paper liner. And so if you fill these and bake these off, you put them on a sheet pan and bake them in the oven. They're really cute little loaves, and also they make really nice gifts. Me personally, I like to do everything in the muffin just because it's already pre-measured for me. I know the calories, the fat, the ratio. I can just grab 1 or 2 muffins depending on if it's a meal, how much of a meal it is for me. I add a couple of cheese sticks to it, or maybe 2 or 3 cups of non-fat milk, and I have a complete meal of protein, carbohydrates, and fats to this. Also, something else that I like to do, if I'm going to present these as a gift, is I might wrap a couple in a self-sack. These are cute little bags that you can buy usually at the party store or Michael's or a craft store or something like that, and tie them up with a little ribbon and present them as gifts. So here is what the banana nut muffin looks like when it's finished. You can see they're really fun, and this is a great way to serve high fiber to children because they're so moist and a little bit on the sweet side because of the sweetened banana that they probably won't even notice that they're so high fiber. Also, for Mama D, who really likes pumpkin muffins, I took a recipe that called for a full cup of oil and 3 cups of sugar. Hello, we can't be eating those every single day, or our would be out to here, you know what I mean? So what I did was I cut the oil to a half of a cup of oil. I cut the sugar to less than a cup of sugar, and I added some ricotta cheese to it and 1 extra egg, which gave the muffins the body that they need and still enough fat so that they'll raise and hold together very, very nicely and still have a cakey texture to them. And I know she's really going to like them. So that's my hot kitchen tip today for muffins. For details on the recipes, please go on the website at INTRAFITT.com and you'll find the recipes for banana muffins and pumpkin muffins. And if you have any questions for me, of course you can email me at Chefie F, Girl Chef, C-H-E-F-I-E-F, Francesca, Chefie F at INTRAFITT, INTRAFITT.com, Chefie F at INTRAFITT.com. So thank you for joining me. I hope this helps. Remember to stay
Say.
Cameraman.
Come on,
you
say
always
it.
have to plug me.
Well, go say it.
Say
Say thank you.
Thanks again.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye-bye. We love you.